Hey everyone, it's Peyton. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss another video from me. And as I'm filming this, it is currently December 16th, which is absolutely insane. We have 15 days until the end of 2023, which is absolutely insane for me to think about. And as Parker McCollum once said, it's been a hell of a year. So I thought I would do a video kind of just like 23 things that I learned in 2023. Kind of cliche, yeah, but it's been a big learning year, and I hope one of these is a takeaway for you. Maybe you learned some things as well. If you want to drop those in the comments or shoot me a DM on my Instagram or TikTok or any other social media platform. They're all linked in the description below, and yeah, I'm not gonna try to ramble too much in the intro to this, so without further ado, let's hop right into it. The number one thing I learned this year is it's truly a gift to be able to romanticize your life and just take things in the present moment as much as you can. I know it can be so easy to get so worried about the future or thinking about the past, but if you just take a second to live in the moment, it's going to be so worth it. And even the little things, whether you're studying or you're doing something you really don't want to do, just take a moment and try to romanticize it and think and just try to make it the best way possible. For example, if you're studying, make yourself some coffee, make yourself some tea, put on some lights, get some study music in the background. Just make it the best that you possibly can, because in the moment it might suck, but make it the best that you can. The next thing I learned was huge for me, and that is that I am a human being and not a machine. I'm meant to rest, I'm meant to eat, I'm meant to do all this stuff, and I can't just work all the time. You can't just work all the time. That's not gonna happen. That's where burnout's gonna come. When I started off this year, I was working full-time and I was doing college full-time and I was lifting 6 days a week and I had no social life really, and I was just kind of treating myself as a machine, like protein goal, workout, eat, sleep, school, work, workout, you know, like just this endless cycle, like I was a robot. But I wasn't doing anything with friends on the weekend or doing anything that really like fills my soul besides like my work. I love what I do, but everything else was just kind of like a routine, kind of like I was a robot. It's not the way we're meant to live. We are not machines, we're not robots. We have emotions, we have needs, we need connections, we need rest, we need to live, and that's something I really learned this year. Number 3 is that it is okay to say no to things. I promise it's okay. I know if you're a people pleaser like me, it can be really hard and really easy to let people walk all over you because it feels like what's right, but in reality, if everyone likes you, you're probably not living true to yourself, and it's just not gonna be worth it in the end. You're gonna be exhausted, and in the end, they're not really gonna be genuinely people that like you. It's gonna be people who just wanna use you. So set your boundaries. It's okay. In the end, it's gonna form real, genuine connections, and it's gonna make you a better person. Number 4 is that gratitude truly is the key to absolutely everything. If you take a minute to be grateful for everything, you're not gonna have time to look at everything going on that's bad. If you take a minute to even the bad stuff, if you look at it with a grateful attitude, you're gonna see that there's a reason for everything, and there's no way. Kind of just cancels out the negative thoughts. Your brain can't think positive and negative at the same exact time, so why not just fill your brain with positive thoughts? Number 5 is that if God does not have your attention, He will take away what does have your attention, because at the end of the day, it's more important to be focused on Him than anything else in this world, because our time here is temporary and you want to make sure you have eternity with Him. So if you are spending all of your time on worldly matters, whether it be a social status or money, He can take away everything that's taking up your mind and get your focus back on Him, because like I said, at the end of the day, that's what's more important. So focus on your relationship with God. I really learned that this year, and I just kind of needed to take a minute to get back into God and not so worried about different statuses and social media followers and stuff like that. Number 6 is that not everyone is going to understand you and what you want to do, especially this generation. We are full of dreamers and doers, and a lot of the people, maybe coworkers or grandparents or parents or whatever, like they may not understand what you're going from or what you're thinking about, whether it be something social media wise, or if you are looking to build a business or something like that. It might not be something that anyone can really understand except for you. God, if He puts something on your heart, listen to it. If you're listening for His whispers, you're gonna hear more of it. So He's not gonna come down booming and tell you exactly what you need to do according to His plan and purpose for you, but there's gonna be little whispers. So the more you listen for Him, the more you'll hear Him. It does not matter what this world has to say. If you feel like something is your calling, Nobody else has to understand it. Number 7 is that burnout comes not from doing too much, but doing too much of stuff that doesn't fill your purpose. If you're filling your time and schedule with stuff that sets your soul on fire, you are never gonna feel burnout. If you are filling your schedule with stuff that doesn't mean anything to you, and you're not finding time in your day to do things that matter in your life, that's where burnout's gonna come from. Number 8 is that everything comes together when it is time, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a job opportunity, whether it be anything, little or small. This year I learned that big time. These two kind of go hand in hand, but patience and everything has its time. It'll all make sense when it does come together. You might not understand what's going on now, but someday you will. Got that from scripture. God always has a plan for everything, and everything happens in His divine timing. It's into my next one as well, which is don't compare your journey to someone else. Just because it's not your journey, it's their journey, and don't, especially if they're farther along than you, don't compare. There's no point, because if you're on chapter 1, why are you gonna look at someone who's on chapter 20 and where their success is right now, whether it be fitness. I learned this a lot when it came to fitness and building my social media platforms, as I'm looking at these big influencers who have a better physique than me, they have higher followers than me, they're doing more than me, and they've been at it for years, and they've been training for 8 years, and like, even if they have been training at the same amount of time as me, like different genetics, they didn't come from the same place. I was very overweight, I had to do the weight loss, and then I fixed my metabolism. It is my journey, and it's gonna be my timing that everything works out, learning things with my body, my timing. My work that I'm putting into my content is gonna happen. I have full faith in it, but like if I sit here comparing myself to someone who blew up over one TikTok and get all sad about that and say it's not fair, it's not gonna do anything at the end of the day but discourage me. So this is my journey, no one else's. Same with, there's a million people who would wanna be in my situation. So you can't look at it as my journey versus their journey. It truly is your journey versus your journey, and where you were yesterday versus who you are today. Number 11 is going to be never change the destination, but you might have to change the route. If you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have something that's on your heart and things just aren't working out for you, never change where you want to end up. It's just gonna have to take some back roads. You're gonna have to change the route. You're gonna have to change the plan, the monthly goals, the weekly goals, the daily goals, your daily routine, your habits, stuff like that. That's what you're gonna have to change. Never change what's on your heart as your dream, just because it might seem out of reach with the way you are doing things right now. Number 12 is that confidence is quiet. I used to think that confidence was the person who spoke highly about themselves and was able to walk in a room and feel like they're the best one there. But in reality, confidence is walking into the room and not thinking about comparing yourself to anyone else who's in there. And that is so much easier said than done, but it's a skill I'm really working on. And if you knew me in the past, I used to always joke, and my ego was a big cover up for any sort of insecurities that I had. I would walk around and be like, it's just because I'm hot, like I'm so pretty, like, oh, like I'm just perfect, stuff like that. And in reality, that's not confidence, that's arrogance, and most of it is fake. Arrogance is very highly linked to insecurity. Number 13 is that it is okay to ask for help. We are human beings. We are meant to have connections. We're meant to have other humans that can help us out along this journey. We are not meant to do everything on our own. And I know that independence is a big thing going on in our world today, like independent females, independent like boss ladies and all this stuff. And like, that's great, it really is. Like, you want to be able to be independent, but you also need people. Independence doesn't mean you never ask for help. It means you can rely on yourself. And that's something that I definitely had to learn this year as someone who also was a recovering people pleaser. Is I didn't want to bother anyone with my problems. I didn't want to ask anyone for help, but you learn that asking for help is not a burden, and people want to help you, because even if it's a little bit selfish, helping others makes you feel better about yourself as well, in the least selfish way possible. Like, when you go and you do charity work or you're donating something, you're gonna end up feeling good. Whether, like, even if you didn't do it for that afterwards feeling of feeling good, you're gonna feel good afterwards. So people want to help. We're a community. Community builds strong people and strong independence and strong individuals. So it's okay to ask for help. 14 is to embrace what makes you stand out. I used to be so bothered by the fact that I was lame in today's society, that I was a pretty strict Christian and I don't really drink, and I've never smoked anything, and I don't like parties, I get anxious. I have a very rough social battery that certain people just absolutely drain, and it's nothing against them as a person. It's just the fact that, like, if I'm around really outgoing people for a very long amount of time, it drains me, and I just want to, I love alone time, like I really do, and it's just something that I love about myself now, that I can spend so much time by myself and be truly happy. So definitely embrace what makes you different. If you are an extrovert, that's awesome. Like, make your connections, be the life of the party, that's you. If you're an introvert, rock that too. Number 15 is that nature heals, and I knew that already because I loved being outside, but this year I learned a lot more about it and how the sun actually is good for your skin, it's good for your nervous system, it's good for vitamin D, which just leads to healthier metabolism and thyroid issues, and it just overall like releases so many good chemicals, happy chemicals in your brain, and just taking a minute to be outside, fresh air truly is just like healing. Number 16 is to let people go if they please. This year was a year of loss for me as I graduated and people went off to college. People who I never thought I would fall out of contact with left without goodbyes, and I took that really personally, but at the end of the day, it's life. People come and go. New people are coming in my life. New people, old people left. It's kind of just the way it works, and you're gonna form real connections, and even if you thought that was a real connection, it's okay. You can look back at the good times you had, but you don't have to grieve. It's okay to grieve, but you don't have to sit and sulk. Why didn't they stay? Like, was I not good enough? Like, what was wrong with me? All that stuff. People are gonna come and go, and that's just part of life, and you can take that as you please. Take everything that other people do as a reflection of themselves, not necessarily on you. But if you are seeing a trend with a lot of people, you might want to do some inner looking there, because could be on you. Number 17 is to never stop learning. It doesn't matter where you're learning from, even if you're learning from online websites. Just never stop. You can learn from absolutely everybody, which is my next one. So number 18 is you can learn something from absolutely everybody, whether they have less money than you, whether they have less of an education from you. If they're younger than you can learn something from absolutely everybody. So just shut your ego up for a minute. Don't look at someone who has this picture perfect life and think that they're gonna give you the best advice. You can learn something from them. You can learn something from a homeless person. You can learn something from someone who sits in the back pew of your church. You can learn from absolutely everybody. Everyone has a story to tell. There's lessons, whether it be intellectual knowledge that you learn from them, like a fact about whatever, or it just be an experience that you listen to them and you can take something out of it. Number 19 is that you need to think for yourself. I learned that big time this year in the world of nutrition, and it kind of just led me down a rabbit hole of thinking for myself entirely. Society is going to push a lot of things, and you're going to want to go along with the trends. The biggest one I can think of right now is just health purposes. First thing you do when you say you have bad periods or something like that is they're just going to try to throw you on birth control, but you need to take that into consideration of everything that it's doing to you. It messes with your brain chemicals. Just because something's in trend and is recommended by people in society today does not mean it's something that you necessarily want. Go with the crowd. It's okay to stick out. It's okay to look into things for yourself and really think about what you want. Number 20 is that energy matters. The room that you're in is going to affect your mood whether you want it to or not. You can work so hard to make your energy unbreakable, but at the end of the day, if you are surrounded by 10 grumps and people who sit and sulk in their own life about how miserable they are, you're eventually going to start feeling those things too, because energy is so contagious. You can feel when someone's a good person. You can feel when someone's happy and confident in who they are, and it's contagious. If you can listen all day to someone telling you what to do with your life, but you're gonna learn more from example. If you see a successful person, you're gonna wanna mirror them more than you're gonna wanna listen to some random person you don't know tell you what you should do with your life. So if you wanna get fit, surround yourself with fit people. If you wanna be smart, surround yourself with smart people. If you wanna be a go-getter, a business person, surround yourself with like-minded people, because energy really is contagious and it matters more than you think. Also, be that energy for other people that they need. Be the confident one. Be the person who's working on themselves, that inspires others to work on themselves because they see how happy and how well you're going for yourself. I can't tell you It is the biggest compliment to me when someone tells me that I inspire them to start looking into nutrition and start working out. Be the energy that you want to attract, and also be that energy for other people. Don't avoid the people with bad energy, but just surround yourself with good energy and help those who might need it. Number 21 is that self-discovery does not have a destination. It is strictly a journey. You are never gonna fully discover yourself in its entirety. There's always more to learn about yourself because you should always be growing and learning and changing. So you might learn one version of yourself, and then by that time you're ready to grow and change, and you're gonna keep learning yourself. And that's okay. You have to enjoy the journey. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, I want to figure it all out, because like you never will. You're gonna be 85 on your deathbed realizing you still never figured it all out, because you're not meant to figure it all out. You're not meant to know everything. God knows everything. Trust His plan. Try to learn as much as you can, but it's a destination. It's not a destination, it's a journey. Number 22 is that loving yourself helps the way that you love others, and I thought that was the most selfish thing ever when I heard it for the first time, is you need to love yourself first. And I'm like, nah, like I can help other people, but like I said, energy is contagious. So if they see the way you're carrying yourself all high and you're doing really well in life, that's gonna help people more than you sitting in your own miserable energy and trying to help someone else, because they can feel that. So if you're gonna sit there and sulk, they're gonna just join you. So loving yourself really does change the way that you can love others. Last one is absolutely huge for me, because you can look at this one in two ways, and that is just the fact that nobody cares. And you can look at that in a depressing way. You'd be like, you can try to pretend that the world revolves around you, but it doesn't. Everyone has their own life. There's people who pass you by in a store window, and you're just some random person they saw through the window, and that's gonna be the last time that they ever think about you, unless you run into them again sometime down the road. But the chances of that happening, it's a big world, and nobody cares. Or you can look at that as the most freeing thing imaginable. You can do what you want at the end of the day. No one cares. That time you fell over, that time you tripped over nothing, that time you choked on your own spit and had a cough attack, nobody's gonna think about that again. Nobody cares. It might be a second of someone being like, oh, that's weird, but guess what? Nobody cares. I really hope you guys took something from this video. If not, it's okay. It's good for me to just reflect. I had a lot of fun writing these down and reflecting on my years. I'm so excited for 2024 and everything that it's going to bring. I feel like every single year brings more change than the one before. I feel like for the last 3 years I've been saying, wow, life changed the most this year, and then the next year I'm like, wow, life changed the most this year, and I just think that that's the way life is gonna go from now on. So time to just embrace, live in the moment, and enjoy every single second I have here. So like I said, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, check out my other social medias. They're all linked in the description. I have a podcast, Instagram, TikTok, all of it. So it would mean the absolute world if you guys would support me on those. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.